Hello folks, just a very quick discussion before we get into the video. I know our last episode had stated that the next faction to talk about was going to be the Savage Wave, but because of the new factions that were introduced at Adepticon, we decided that we're going to bring those ahead because I know that there's been a lot of people trying to ask about opinions on that. So, we're actually going to cover the Kinshi Temple first, or the Void.
Yeah.
So,
the Void Monks, yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Savage Wave fans. It took it sort of we had to unfortunately park it because obviously Adepticon, and there was a bunch of announcements and everything. I want to also, whilst we can, briefly say shout out to everyone who got sick at Adepticon with COVID.
Yeah.
Hopefully you are all well. We're sorry to hear that you guys are unwell, especially yourself, Master Enos.
Yep.
We do care about you. Hope you're feeling better. This is Hank, by the way. He's been hounding me, because he wants food. So we'll keep this brief.
Yep.
So looking forward to discussing the monks. I'm super excited for them. I know there's a fair few people that aren't happy with them, but I think these models are amazing. I've ordered mine, as well as the 2-player starter set.
Yeah.
So I am super excited for them to come out, and when they do, I'll do an unboxing video for this channel.
Definitely. So we're going to let you get back to feeding the dog, and now take it off past me and past Ben. Is what it should say when I am recording. Hello, future people. Welcome to Getting Tabled. Welcome to the Jwar Isle for the first time that we're definitely recording this. It's definitely the first time we're doing this. I have Brother Bear with me.
Hey, how you going?
And I'm the guy that didn't hit the button, Jason the Bruce. We are talking about the new hotness. Quite literally, we're talking about the new hotness about 4 or 5 days after they were revealed at this point. At time of recording, at least, anyway. It'll be a few weeks by the time you guys have seen it. We are talking about the Kinshi Temple. Yeah. This is where Master Enos came from.
Is it?
I believe that's the story.
Maybe. We'll see how we go.
That's where he came from before he invaded our world and then created this game that we can play.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. I'm going to start a little bit differently because if we don't talk about this communal card first, a lot of the profiles are not going to make a lot of sense. So, the Blessings of the Void is the communal card for the Void Monks. Some feats have a rank listing in their cost. It's indicated by a blue R symbol that you can see on your screen. These key feats may only be used if an effect allows them to be used at no cost. Friendly Satsui models may use the following feats as if it were on their card. So to start with, we have Whispers of the Void, which is a rank 1. It's an instant and it's personal. You can only use this once per turn. Use only in the main phase. Add 1 to this model's statistics until the current activation is complete. This is considered a key boost. We also have Silence of the Void, which is a rank 3 ability. You need to be the active player for this one though. Still personal. Use only in the main phase. Add 2 to this model's statistics until the end phase. This is considered a key boost. This warband may use this key feat only once per turn. And then on the back of the card, in the starting phase, add 1 void counter to this card. Some abilities will place void counters on this card. When the number of void counters shown below is reached, the given ability is activated. So at 1, when a Satsui and Monk model is killed, you may add 1 void counter to this communal card. At 2, Satsui models entering base to base with a void rift may be placed in base to base with any other rift by the active player and continue its movement, if there is any. At 3, when a Satsui and Monk model performs a focus action, you may add 1 void counter to this communal card. At 4, Satsui models may use rank 1 feats at 0 cost. At 5, Satsui models in base-to-base contact with a destructible terrain and not in an enemy's zone of control can declare a wait action to remove it from the table. At 6, when a Satsui model fails an opposed key test, add 1 void counter to this communal card. At 8, Satsui models may use rank 2 feats at no cost. And finally, at 12, Satsui models may use rank 3 feats at no cost. So, rather than spending key, you have to earn void counters on this card to be able to use these abilities. It's going to become a little bit more obvious as we go through. But because this works so differently than everything else in the game, that's why we're starting here. You want to
so this
touch
army
on...
strength? Yeah, so I was going to say this army strength is 1. The majority of them are all like monks, so they've got jump up, they've got kata, and they've got bravery, which is probably a recurring thing you're going to see. But also the fact that the quicker you can get void counters up, the better they're going to all become. I'm going to touch on the theme, which is Zenith of the Void. It's the only one that comes in the starter box set.
Yep.
So Zenith of the Void. Before the game, place 3 Void Rift terrain elements on the table within 6 inches of the center point and not within 2 inches of any objective permitted Satsui. So what a Void Rift is, it's a terrain element. It's a 30 millimeter base. It's normal. It's clear, so it doesn't obscure line of sight. And it's 0, so it's destructible as well. Enemy models treat this as idle terrain. Models may not enter any movement or be placed on top of these terrain elements. So it may not end any movement or be placed on top of the terrain elements. So the fact that you're getting 3 of them 6 inches and you can place them, I would probably suggest placing them closer towards the enemy side, and then because some of these guys have got some abilities that can be generated through void rifts.
Yeah.
This is really good. And then obviously that will go hand in hand with, if you got 2, you can enter base contact with a void rift and then move into base with another one. That's pretty useful as well. 6 inches of the center line.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's going to become very, very useful. And before we actually go into the models, I just want to point out, these are so pretty. I mean, just look at how pretty they are.
Yeah, because he didn't hit the thing we're doubling back. But yes, we spent a good 20, 30 minutes talking about how beautiful these models are. Yeah. I really like them. They're very kind of like sort of like the bad monks. Like, don't get me wrong, I love monks. I think the monks are amazing. But these guys in their unique poses, they're very Moon Knight-esque. Obviously they're not white.
Very ninja. These guys are just beautiful.
As someone very dear to me said that these aren't. He goes, I refuse to call these monks. They're void ninjas. So
I like that. Actually,
I thought that was very funny. Void ninjas. They're really, really cool. I like them a lot. Did you want me to start with? Oh yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to move into Batsu.
All right. Okay.
So Batsu is a monk. He's a Satsui. He'll cost you 17 rice. He has 3 melee. He's got 2 ranged. He moves 4. He's got 6 wounds. He generates 2 ki. He can't hold any. His melee is Satsui Bujutsu. There's no strength bonus. He does have ki block. Sidestep attack 0. Push attack 0. And powerful attack 1. And his range is Ki. It's a special attack that we'll touch on in a moment. The range is 3, 5, and 7. He's got jump up, Kata, Range Defense 1, and Vengeance Monk. So, I'll start with Ki, which is in his unique effects down the bottom. This weapon does no damage, but on a successful attack, the target gains a spirit block marker. When an enemy model removes the death sentence marker, you can add 1 void counter to the Blessings of the Void communal card. When this model deals damage in a melee exchange, once the activation is complete, you may place this model in base-to-base contact with a Void Rift. So, smack, teleport, straight out of the way.
Yeah.
His first special ability is Scorch the Earth. It's a rank 1. You need to be active. And it's a special within base to base. So, looking at this, it looks a little bit confusing. I'm going to read through it and it'll make a little bit more sense. The enemy cannot be in base to base with you, and you can only use this once per turn. Place the Scorched Earth template in base to base with this model. It's a terrain element, difficult, obscuring, 0. Models contacting this terrain gain a fire 3 marker, remove the terrain element in the end phase, add 1 void counter to the Blessings of the Void communal card. So, it sounds more complicated than it is when you're looking at it, but basically you're putting a template right next. So you're putting a template right next to you. Anything within that template gets damaged essentially, and you're getting void communal cards.
Yeah. So the Scorch Earth template is the same size as a card. Just letting everybody know that. So the way that it says you can place this in base-to-base contact. So the way that the card works, is you can do it horizontally or vertically, and you can place it in base-to-base contact with you at any point of your base of the front 180-degree arc. So you could basically go one corner and then you could angle it if you really wanted to as well.
But you need to remember that you cannot use this if they're in base-to-base with you. That's important.
Yeah. But you can't, I mean, but if you can move him up 4 inches or run him.
Yes.
Yep, you can run him up and then place that ability.
Yep.
Not bad. It's like a flame template.
Pretty much.
Go ahead.
Forbidden Censor is his other ability. This is a rank X, and you're going to see a few of these, but this is the first one we come across. This is a complex action, so you're going to need both of your activations to do it, and it's target within 6 inches. It's an opposed key test once per game. Target gains a death sentence marker. So this is where the one from before comes from. Choose another enemy model that has not been targeted by this feat, this activation, within 3 inches of the target, and immediately repeat this key feat on the new model, ignoring range, line of sight, and camouflage. The range of this feat may be measured from a void rift. This feat may affect a maximum of X enemy models in one action. So, you're only going to be able to do this once per game. Obviously, the later that you leave this, it's going to be better. And in theory, the target can be within 6 inches of you or 6 inches of a void rift marker. You could potentially get a lot of people with this if you plan this right.
Yeah. So, all right, I'm going to touch quickly for those players who may be a bit new to Bushido. So first off, we'll cover the spirit block. If a model has a spirit block marker, it does not generate key tokens during the key generation step at the beginning of the turn. At the end of the key generation step, remove 1 spirit marker for each model with a spirit marker on it. So you can have multiple spirit markers on you, and you can't generate key. So let's say if you had 3, that's going to last you 3 turns unless you get healed or remove it some way, other than wait to the end phase. That's not bad. And a death sentence marker is any model. If you've got a death sentence marker on you, any enemy targeting you gains +1 to the melee exchange in melee. It gains +1 to the range and +1 damage to you. At the starting phase, you can remove a death sentence marker by spending 3 key, and you can remove 1 death sentence marker. I believe they don't stack, but you only get one death sentence marker. But the fact that this guy dishes out those, which are quite hindrance, would be a hindrance to anybody. Batsu is I think he's an order to include. Plus, he's probably he's probably the second. No, I think he's the top 2 of the coolest models in this box set.
I'd agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Do you want to go over Hishigata?
I like him a lot. Yes, Hishigata, the man, the myth, the legend, the Husk. He's 10 rice. He's a Husk. He's a monk, and he's a Satsui. He's got melee pool of 2, 0 range. He's got movement 4. He's got 5 health. He has no ki. He's got Satsui Bujitsu, 0 strength. Which gives ki block. He's got Kata, range defense 1, not bad. Slow, soulless, and strong. He's got a communal ability for himself, which is obscured by Umber, which is cost you R1. Active, personal, once per turn. This model gains intangible until the end of the current activation. So if you spend a void counter on this guy, he becomes intangible, so he avoids zones of control, which he can then move up the field if he needs to, which is beneficial. So he's got a unique effect. When this model is killed, you may choose one of the following. 1, you can replace this model with a Void Rift. 2, you can replace this model with Kodai, who's a model we'll cover later. He's not included in the starter box set. This can be used to deploy a replacing model in base-to-base contact or zone of control. He's a 30 mil guy. Not bad for 10 rice. I like him a lot. I think he's really cool. The fact that he's got strong, so once the void tokens start going up, he'll go to a 3 combat potentially, and he'll have strong, and he's also got kata. It's not bad. Soulless as well, so he'll pass opposed key tests pretty well.
Yeah.
You want to talk about Ku, who I reckon is probably the second coolest model in the box set?
Yeah, we both love this guy. So Ku will cost you 22 rice. He's a monk and a Satsui. He has 4 melee, 3 range.
Mm-hmm.
He moves 4, which is a theme that you're going to see across most of these guys. He has 6 health. He generates 2 ki, but he can't hold any. This guy does have a weapon. He has a staff, which is +1 strength. He has reach, which is always nice. Ki block, sidestep attack 0, slam attack 1, and push defense 0. He's got bravery, cloud walk, dodge 1, indomitable 1, jump up, kata, split attack, and tireless. He has a couple of abilities here. Stronger Than Hate is a rank 1 ability. Need to be the active player, and it's personal until the end of the current activation. Each time this model deals damage in a melee exchange, the enemy non-Satsua model loses an activation counter. This is nasty. He also has a range 2 ability called Unseen Anger. This model gains lightning reflexes until the current action is resolved. His unique effects. The first time this model deals damage as the result of a melee exchange, place 1 void counter on the blessings of the communal card. This model treats Master Enos as having the traits Fear 6 and Terror. So, those two don't work together quite so well. He's actually scared of Master Enos. Obviously, there's a history there that I assume that will come up in the story at some point.
Maybe, yeah. So Master Enos has probably done something to him, but yeah. So the way that Fear 6 works is if Ku gets into base-to-base contact with Master Enos, or Master Enos gets in combat with Ku, he'll have to do a test with 2 dice, and he has to pass Fear 6, and the Terror removes his bravery, so he can't re-roll that in case it fails. That's how that sort of works. This guy is your combat. Every box has a combat monster. This guy is this. 4 melee. Yeah. Slam attack is amazing because the fact that you can hit a model and you can move them 1 inch, and then they become prone is quite good. Push defense 0. That's just amazing to have, especially with somebody who's got a staff and reach.
Yeah.
Sorry, who's got reach. So basically, you're like, no, I'm going all defense because I don't really want to be in combat with you, and I push you away. You don't resolve your thing because you're the first activation, because of reach. Tireless is amazing, and the fact that he removes activation counters is also a really nice little combo.
Yeah.
I like him also because he's got split attack and Indomitable 1. That's also really, really good. It means I can do combat with two guys in combat with two guys, and yeah, you've got 3 attack for each of those combats is really, really, really good.
Tireless, for those of
Yeah,
you that
I
don't
like this
know,
guy a lot.
basically means that he only uses his activation. He only uses his activation counters when he wants to. You can attack this guy to high heaven, and it's not going to affect him, essentially. Not until he's dead, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I would. He doesn't have any range defense, so I would probably, if I saw this guy on the other side of me, I'd shoot him as much as I possibly could.
I would agree with you on that. 100%.
I mean, yeah, dodge 1 as well is really, really good. Yeah, because you can re-roll that one. Re-roll that 1 attack dice. That's always really, really good.
Yep.
Yeah, this guy's great, fantastic. Yeah, really, really good profile. I'm going to talk about Maru.
Yep.
Yeah. This is probably, I reckon, I like this guy a lot. For 16 rice, he's pretty versatile and quite in what he does. He's a monk. He's Satsui. He's got melee pool of 3. He's got range of 2. He's got movement 4. He's got 6 health. He's got void on him. He's got 2 ki for ki tests. Can't hold any ki, but this faction doesn't do it that way. He's got Satsui Batsui. So he's got sidestep attack 0. He's got force back attack 0. Pretty good. And slam attack 1. Also pretty good. His attacks have +1 strength. He's got Ki, which is special. He's got 3, 5, and 7. He's got aware, which is good, so he can't be surprised. He's got bravery. He's got jump up and kata. Pretty useful. He's got forbidden force. So this model gains rapid fire X until the current activation is complete. This is an RX. You have to be the active model. It only targets you, and you can't be in base-to-base contact with an enemy to do this. It's a once per turn. Did you want to cover what rapid fire X or what rapid fire does?
Yep. So rapid fire X means that you can use your ranged ability X amount of times, but only spending the 1 counter to do it. You don't necessarily have to attack the same person. If he had multiple attacks, in theory, you could use multiple weapons too, but obviously he doesn't. Yeah, so if you spend 4, then you can use that 4 times. It's quite nasty.
Yeah, so then he's got Time Spiral, which is an R2. It's an instant, and it's just targets him. You can't be in base-to-base contact with an enemy once per turn. You can do this. This model gains Cloud Walk, Sweep Attack 0, and Unblockable 1 until the end of the current activation. And Unblockable 1 means you remove the one of the highest defense dice in melee, which is useful. His Ki ability is the same, so this weapon doesn't cause any damage, but successful attacks, the target gains a spirit block marker. And he has another unique ability. In the starting phase, choose 1 void rift within 6 inches of this model and place it within 1 inch of its current activation. So you can move it further up or back or side or any direction you want. That becomes quite useful because people can then shoot through void markers. They can walk through them. Void rifts, I should say. For 16 rice, yeah, if you're going to have a lot of void rifts out there, he's definitely a must-have. I like him a lot. Yeah, force back attack 1 is great. You can basically force back someone away from you and then move back into combat with them. So you're keeping them where you want them to be. Sidestep attack is great. Normally you see a lot of sidestep defense, but sidestep attack is pretty interesting as well.
Yeah.
I think, I mean, it's not as good as sidestep defense, but it's still pretty good. Just the way that it works is like if the attacker is successful, the attacker may move away from the defender and leave its zone of control. At which point this movement ends. The attack doesn't make any damage. So it's not bad. I do like his slam attack 0. So his slam attack 1 is good. I always like slam attack. It's pretty good. Yeah, this guy's good. Yeah, but also the fact that you get that access to sweep attack and cloud walk is quite useful as well.
The thing with this guy is if you've got somebody on the table that has an ability that you're scared of, this is a way of getting rid of that ability. Is that rapid fire X allows you to throw on a couple of different spirit block markers, and then they just can't get any of their key for X amount of turns. It's really, really going to annoy people.
Yeah, I feel this army would be this warband or this faction is the complete opposite to monks, like to the Temple of Rokai, and I think this would be a big detriment. This faction would be a big detriment to them because just the fact that key can be flown, like the way that they work. These are the bad guy monks.
Yeah, and very much so.
Yeah, you can see it in their profile.
Well, yeah. Coming up next, we've got Naga Shikaku, costs you 10. He's a Husk, he's a monk, and he's a Satsui. Very similar to the other guy. He's got 2 melee, no ranged, moves 4, 5 health, and there's no key to speak of. He has Satsui Bujutsu. There's no strength bonus, but he does give a key block. Kata, ranged defense 1, slow, soulless, and strong. He has an ability called Empower the Void, which is R1, and it's instant, and it's a pulse within 6 inches once per turn. If an enemy model in the pulse spends key for any reason, yes, you heard that right, any reason, add a Void counter to the Blessings of the Void communal card. This isn't instant. It doesn't have to be during your turn. Any reason. It's a really, really easy way of punishing almost anybody, pretty much. Unique effects. When this model is killed, you may choose one of the following. Either you can replace this model with a Void Rift, or you can replace it with a Void Kami. So similar to the other guy, but you're getting a Void Kami instead of the other character. And he also has the thing where this can be used to deploy a replacing model in base-to-base or zone of control. So hypothetically, if you was bringing Kodai in, you could actually set it next to this guy instead of where the dead character was, if you wanted to. Same with the Void Kami and the other way. Those two work together very, very well, and I do think you would want to take both of them.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the strategy, you don't have to. It depends on what your strategy is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to take Kodai, you take one of them. You definitely take the other one, the other Husk. If Hishigata, if you are taking Void Kami, you're definitely taking this guy. We haven't seen a Void Kami yet.
No, but you also have the ability to bring out the Void Rifts. Like, being able to put down extras of those is not something to be shaking your head at. Especially when they're
not bad for 20. Yeah, they're not bad for 20 rice for both, just to take both of them.
Yeah.
Gives you some cheap bodies, especially for monks, which are, monks are usually anywhere between 14 to 18 rice. And these give you some cheaper fillers. It's not bad at all. I'm going to talk about Shikaku. Is it Shikaku is the next one?
Shangaku, yeah.
No, Sengaku. Sorry, it's Sengaku, not Shikaku. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sengatsu. Yeah. He's 14 rice. He's a monk. He's a Satsui. He's got 3 combat, 2 ranged. He's got 4 movement. He's got 6 health. He's got 2 key for key tests. He's got Sansatsu Batsua. So he's got the +0 strength. He's got sidestep attack 0, sweep attack 1, counter strike defense 1. That's really, really good. He's got bravery, endurance. He's got flank. He's got jump up. He's got kata. He's also got the void ability time splice. Sounds awesome. Also sounds like an ice cream, doesn't it?
It does a bit.
So it's an R3 active player, and it just targets you once per turn. When this model successfully damages an opponent in a melee exchange, after the melee exchange is resolved, place this model anywhere within 1 inch of the enemy model and not in its line of sight, or within a spirit ward aura. If this is not possible, this feat cannot be used. Now, if this model has a remaining activation counter after this activation is completed, you may become the active player again and begin this model's activation. So if you were to cause any damage to an opponent and you had 1 activation left, you could be placed behind him, and then you would be able to then also work off your unique ability. So his unique ability, when this model is deployed from elsewhere, you may add a void rift in base-to-base contact with it. So as I was saying, once you cause some damage, you would then move in within 1 inch, place a void marker, and then you can then activate again if you have an activation token. So you could potentially move into combat again with that model and surprise it, or you can move to somewhere that you need to be. I really like that ability. It's really, really good. This guy's not bad for 14 right?
No, not bad at all. It kind of reminds me of those Dragon Ball Z fights where you punch somebody, but then you're so fast that you're where they're going, and then you punch them again back the other way.
Yeah,
that's how it feels.
Noise. Yeah. Well, yeah. He's got that really cool, unique strike, so the open palm out with the fist ready and the sort of like crane stance. I like him a lot. He's really cool.
Coming up next, we have Shikaku.
I should probably touch on endurance. Yes. So this model doesn't suffer melee penalties for being exhausted, which is really, really good for this guy as well. Also, the fact he's got flank.
True, actually, yes.
When this model is deployed from elsewhere, you may add a void rift. Does that mean if you flank and you come on from the other side of the table, you can place a void marker? I think that might be too broken, but I think that will work with his time of spliceability. But something I might have to check on for sure. But yeah, the fact that he could start off the field, come on halfway, makes him not bad at all. I like him a lot.
Shikaku costs you 16. He's a monk. He's a Setsui. Yep. He's got range 3. He's got melee 3, range 2. He moves 4. He's got 6 health. He's got 2 ki for ki tests. He doesn't actually generate anything. He also does Satsui Bujutsu. There's no strength bonus on this guy, though. Combo attack 1. Sidestep attack 0. Throw attack 1. He has bravery, jump up, kata, resistance 1, and steadfast. And he's got 2 abilities. The void stares back is R1. It's a special. Target needs to be within 8 inches. It's an opposed key test, and you cannot be within base to base. Target non-Satsui enemy model, which has line of sight to this model. Make a successful level 4 damage roll on the target model. Wounds caused by this key feat ignore armor. A model can only be targeted by this feat from any source once per turn. This is really nasty. So Ben just looks at me from 8 inches away, and he's just... That's a level 4 damage roll. It's going to hurt. The range of this feat can be measured from a void rift. So he just side glances to the void rift, and he's... if this feat... What?
Help me out here.
If this feat causes any wounds, add 1 void counter to the Blessings of the Void communal card. Really nice.
So a level 4 damage roll on a okay, so right off the bat, the way I'm looking at this and I'm going, okay, that's going to be really the fact that it's going to be really hard for me as a Minamoto player because that ability
Ignores your
is really
strength.
yeah. The only thing that would probably save me is I'll have to use just a scratch just to like half the damage that you cause because damage 4 already. If you roll if you roll 5 or higher, you're going to do heaps of damage. That's really really good.
Yeah.
It also doesn't have any strength bonus, which is good. But you're going to be adding void tokens really really quickly if you can get that done.
Yeah.
Um,
So on a level 4,
yeah,
you need to roll 2 or higher basically for damage.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
and it's pretty good. And yeah, his unique effect, I really like it as well. Just when this model deals damage in a melee exchange, once the activation is complete, yeah, you may place this model in contact with a void rift, so you can just
Yep.
yeah
Smack
do
disappears.
damage and just,
Yep. He also has Time
So-
Spiral, which I haven't touched on yet. That's a range
Yeah.
2. It's instant and it's personal. Can't be in base to base with somebody though. It is once per turn, but you gain Cloud Walk, Sweep Attack, and Unblockable 1 until the end of your current activation. This guy's going to annoy a lot of people.
Yeah, for 16 rice, he's really really good. I've actually been thinking about it whilst we've been talking and everything. Sidestep attack, right, is really really good for these guys because a majority of monks have got counter strike defense.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that you got sidestep attack is like if you know you're going up against somebody who's got counter strike defense, sure, you go, okay, cool. I'm going to go and I'm going to do sidestep attack 0. Doesn't cost me anything. I'm going to put all my attack in. So I'm going to put all my dice into attack. I'm going to attack you. And I'm going to leave, and that counteracts
I hadn't thought of that. That's actually a good point.
Because you can do your as long as you're the active model, that is.
Yeah.
Because you resolve your activations first. You can basically go, boom, boom, I'm leaving. Oh, but I'm not doing any damage to you. I'm going to avoid that situation. So these guys are really, really, really are a very nasty counter to everything that is Temple. The more that I look at them, they're really, really good. This guy's versatile. This guy really doesn't like samurai. This guy really doesn't.
No.
He's got throw attack. Yeah, he's got combo attack 1, which is really really good. He's got throw attack 1, which is also really really good. And the void stare back ability. Just yeah, he's really good, and he can do sweep attack 1. So this guy is designed to take down samurai because a samurai is obviously its weakest when it's on its back. You don't go and I like so. As a Minamoto player, that's what I hate being is prone. So the fact that you got throw attack, which you can grab a guy that you're in combat with, and if you're gonna win, throw him, and what would even be better is knocking another opponent down. So the opponent you throw, then becomes prone. If he knocks into another opponent, they become prone as well. Another enemy model becomes prone. Combo attack is how you do damage to samurai because you want to do big hit and then another sort of hit. And the ignoring the armor ability to do a strength 4, this guy's great.
Yeah, no, he's really really good.
Yeah, for 16 right, he's really really good.
The cards that come in the box. Anything in particular that you wanted to look at?
Yeah, I really like Time Thief. I think it's really really good.
Yep.
So this is an enhancement card. So this model gains the following ranged weapon: Conspiracy of Time, which is a range bracket of 2, 3, and 4. So this weapon doesn't do any damage on a successful attack. The target, a non-Satsui model, loses an activation counter. So this is a good way to strip activation counters. And you can give this to any monk that doesn't have a ranged weapon already. That does limit you to, and they have to have a range. Basically, it's pretty much you're going to give it to Ku, who's
More
got
or less, yeah.
range 3. Yeah, makes him pretty good. I like that a lot. I think that's really really good.
There's definitely
Thief of Time I really like a lot. You can Yeah, it does cost you 3 rice, so it is expensive, but you're stripping activation tokens. So not only can Ku do that in his combat ability, as he's got Stronger of Hate, but also he can then do it range. So it makes him really an effective, activation remover machine, which is what he would be really, really good at. Did you have any other ones that you liked too? You liked Moment of Perfection, didn't you?
Yeah, that's what I just brought up.
About? Yeah.
You have to play it in the main phase. If there's no models in play that have key tokens, add an activation counter up to Satsui models. And what's the thing about these guys? Oh, none of them generate key. Oh, well, yep, that's going to be very useful. It's just an instant way to get extra counters. You can only take one. Obviously, you can only take any more than one of this would be so broken.
Yeah. Another good event is definitely Voice of the Void. Not only does it sound like really, really cool, but it's actually pretty awesome. So you can have each of them costs 1 rice. It's an event. You can have 3 of them. Play only in the main phase. Add 1 to the friendly model's monk's statistics until the current activation is complete. This is considered as a key boost. So you can then, if in a pinch, if you need to make your monk better and you want to use another or one of the abilities, you can use this. Not bad at all.
Yeah.
I like Voice of the Void.
Yeah, no, it's very good. The last one I want to go over is Temporal Destruction, which is an enhancement.
Oh, yep.
It gives you an ability called Time Stutter, which is an R2. You need to be active and it's personal. When this model makes a successful attack during a melee activation, remove all activation counters from the enemy model, then discard this card. Needs to be a void one.
Yeah.
That's
another
really
enhanced.
nasty.
Yeah, that's really, really good. I like that a lot. There's another enhancement card I want to touch on, which is Eclipse of Hate. It just sounds awesome. Attached model gains Vengeance Spirit blocked.
Yeah.
The amount of Spirit block markers that you're going to dish out with this faction, the fact that you then gain Vengeance is going to be awesome. The requirements, though, is you have to have a Void. You have to be a monk, and you have to have the Void symbol on you. Funny enough, everybody does. The exclusion is you can't be a master. It only costs you 1 rice. I think this is great. This is awesome.
A lot of their cards are very, very good, and there are more than just the ones that we've spoken about there. These are just the ones that we're picking out to talk about today.
Yeah. So you give this Vengeance of Eclipse of Hate. If you give this to I would give it to Maru. Be really, really good. Or I would give it to I tell you who I'd give it to. Sorry. I would give it to Shikaku, the 16 rice. So you got Vengeance, you've got so +1 that gives you brutal with anybody that you're targeting who's got a spirit block marker, and then you've got +1 strength in combat is really, really good. Did you want me to talk on? So those are the models that come in the starter set. Did you want us to talk about the 2 models? Did you want me to go with Master Shi or
go for the Master? You know you want to.
Yeah, I do. I really do. I kind of set myself up there. All right, Master Shi. He's basically the mirror match of Master Enos. So he's 25 rice. He's a master. He's a monk. He's a Satsui. He's got melee pool of 4. He's got a range of 4. He's got movement 4. He's got 6 health. He's got void. He has 3 key for key tests. He's got Satsui Bujitsu, so +1 strength. He's got key block. With that, he's got combo attack 0, sidestep attack 0, go Gatsu attack 0, which is you and I both are removed from play, which is pretty good. He's got a range ability called Key Vacuum, which has key block and combo attack 0, which is really, really good. This range attack has got +1 strength. Its ranges are 3, 5, and 7. He's fearless. He's immune to prone. He's got kata. He's got range defense 1, 6 sense, and Spirit 1. So 6th Sense, he'll be able to target those pesky ninjas with that key vacuum. That'll be pretty cool. He's got 3 void abilities. He's got Contemplate No Mind, which is an R1. It's a simple action, target of 12 inches, and it's a opposed key test. You can't be in base-to-base contact, and it's only once per turn. Target loses all activation counters. The range of this feat may be measured from a void rift. Add 1 void counter to the Blessing of the Void communal card. So once you pull that ability off, you can do that.
Yeah.
The fact that you can just go, sit there, contemplate life, you can't do anything. He's got Touch of Silence, RX, instant. It's a special. Can only be done once per turn. When this model is successfully attacked in melee exchange, prevent X wounds. For each wound prevented, the model making the attack suffers 1 wound, ignoring tough. Yeah, that's really, really good. So you can go,
really
and that can be done instantly. So it can be done whenever you take damage. Okay, so he's got Rage Against Time. So this is a once per game ability. It's an R3. It's a complicated action. It's a pulse of X inches. Non-soulless, non-Satsui models in this pulse gain a berserk marker X. Gain a berserk marker. X is the current turn number. So if you saved up and did this in turn 6, that's 6 inches, and everyone within 6 inches of a non-soulless model or non-Satsui model gains a berserk marker, which means if you're a berserk, you become aggressive, which means you have to put more dice into attack than defense, and I believe you become impetuous. Yeah, that's really, 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 really good. I like that a lot.
Especially for a guy that can turn your own attacks against you.
Yeah, exactly. Really, really good. His unique effects are also the mirror match of Master Enos's. So the starting phase, inflict 1 wound to each enemy lesser kami within 6 inches. This model then gains the ability based on the type of kami wounded. If it was a water kami, you heal 2 wounds. If it was a fire kami, this model's weapons gain fire 2, so 2-1. Air kami, this model gains +1 movement and light-footed. If it's a void kami, place 1 void counter on the Blessing of the Void communal card. If it's a metal kami, this model gains powerful attack 0. That's awesome.
Yeah.
If it's an earth kami, this model gains tough 1. If it's other lesser kami, this model gains an activation counter. Yeah, that's any other kami. So that would be anything with a kami ability. So for example, that would be like an ancestral spirit. Yeah, wow. That's any other lesser kami. Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that. But yeah, that for 25 rights, this guy does a lot of work for the faction. He's awesome.
Big time.
Yeah, fearless, immune to prone, amazing. Range defense 1, 6th sense. That's just great. You can't be surprised. And he can target ninjas. Morgan's gonna hate me if I pull this guy out. He's brutal.
Yeah.
Like him a lot.
And then finally, we have Kodai, who we mentioned earlier in the video. He will cost you 11 if you don't summon him. He's a Satsui and he's a monk. He has 3 melee. He doesn't have any range. He moves 5. He's got 3 wounds, and there's no key. He does Satsui Bujutsu. There's no strength bonus. He does have sharp 2, and he does have push attack 0. He's durable. He has kata. He's intangible. He has 6th sense. He's slow, soulless, and strong. He has Dark from Light, which is an RX ability. So it's simple. The aura is X. Satsui models in the aura gain Spirit +1. Non-void models gain Spirit -1. So the more you spend, the more effective this is going to be. Unique effects. Lantern. When another model is killed within 6 inches of this model, you may add 1 Void counter to the Blessings of the Void communal card. Models within 3 inches of this model with the camouflage trait gain +3 inches. So, for example, if you were already camouflage 3, you've now become camouflage 6. So this is that part in particular is something that could potentially annoy you. This model cannot be healed. In the starting phase, choose 1 Void Rift within 6 inches of this model and place that Void Rift within 1 inch of its current location.
Yeah, this guy's really good for 11 rice. So yeah, to bring him, so yeah, you would have to use Hishigata's ability. You would have to also purchase him for 11 rice. So it's going to cost you about 21 rice to have both of them. But the fact that if you can summon him to where he needs, if Higashita was to die, is really, really good.
My understanding of it is that either you could buy this guy from the start for 11 rice, or the other guy gives you the ability to summon it in when it gets killed. That's my understanding of how it reads.
No, it's so you have to pay for it. So for example, like the way that it works is basically you can pay to have Kodai, and then if Hishigata was to die, you can then place Kodai where you need him. You still always have to pay for the rice. It's like
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how it works. Kodai's not bad.
No, I quite like Kodai.
Yeah, 3 melee. He's got durable. 6 sense as well is really, really good. So he can basically just go, I'm gonna move into combat with your ninja or Bakemono. He's got sharp, which is always useful, especially against like armored models, and we see a lot of them nowadays. Yeah. I like his lantern ability a lot. That would be the bane of a lot of Bakemono players and ninja players. Yeah, especially because majority of ninja players they've got like camouflage 3 or a bit worse. So then that becomes 6 inches. So anyone within 6 inches of you, which is almost a basic movement, will be able to get in combat with you. That's pretty good. I like Lantern a lot. It helps you out. This guy's good.
Yeah.
The spirit, the Dark from Light ability is good because that can add to your key tests and stuff if you need to do that. That's always really helpful.
Yeah. Helps you, hurts everybody else. It's just it's a good supporting bundle. So that's all of the current ability. That's all of the current models that's available for the range. I say available. These things were being sold at Adepticon as a pre-order, and you could do it through the website during that time. They are not currently in stock. They will be brought back at some stage. Our estimation is within a month or two, because that's what they did last year. But time will tell.
Yeah, they did.
They
did that with the they did that with the Open Rebellion box. So they were sort of available at Adepticon, and then they came out for general release like a couple months later. So the starter, I would definitely, if I was, I have already purchased the starter box set and both those models, Master Shi and Kodai. I would, if you're starting this faction, if that's something that you're wanting to do, I would definitely buy the starter box set and Master Kai and Kodai for sure. And then I would imagine later down the line there will be a special card box set for these guys. Definitely must have. I reckon these guys I reckon these models faction dice are going to look amazing.
I'm looking forward to
that logo.
That I have a feeling that we will see them when they come out for general release. I can't base that on anything. That's just, it would make sense to me.
That would be.
Card-wise, I kind of have a feeling that might take a little bit longer. Maybe it depends on how far in advance they've got that stuff ready.
Well, I reckon what they'll do is, what I would assume they would do is they would do a general release, and then what they would do is then a month later they will release a faction dice and special card for these guys. They would definitely release them. They have to, and it will just be like the Shiho sort of range. Then there'll be a few models for this faction released. So every wave, I would imagine, just to give them some options. Looking at each of the profiles for each of these monks, they're all they're all very versatile. They're all good at what they, but also they complement each other quite well. Yeah, I like this faction a lot. I think they are going to be a very I wouldn't say a very beginner-friendly faction, but I mean, I'm not going to oppose anybody who's starting to, if they want to play the rule of cool and use these guys because they like the look of them, go for it. You're gonna have to learn very quickly. I would dip my toe into a lower rice cost games just to be able to learn what it has and then build on from there. But these guys are really, really cool. I like them a lot.
I think that the counteraction to these guys is going to be, because you need time to build up those abilities, the counteract is trying to get to them before all of the powerful stuff comes out, especially when it comes to those X abilities. You really want to try and avoid that stuff being possible if you can.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of their abilities at the moment, and like where it says like, if this ability goes off, add a void token. It seems that a lot of that is held up or isn't affected if you're in base contact with them. So you might need to sort of like rush these guys and stop them from preventing it. And also
you're gonna need to Zerg rush them. Yeah, like we're talking StarCraft. The army that takes a while to build, the counteraction is always to rush. Yeah,
rush them. Yeah.
That's potentially a danger as well, but yeah, you need to.
Yeah,
the glass
that being said,
side of this is early.
Yeah, definitely. And then I mean, these guys are good in, they're monks. They're good at combat and they can handle themselves.
Yeah.
But yeah, you probably want to do as much as you can to prevent that. I would definitely, if you can, spend that key and take out those void rifts if you can. I mean, I know it's scary getting close to some of them, but you might have to do it. Also, I mean, if you're coming against these guys and you're a newer player, like all of the information in terms of like void abilities is open information. They have to tell you that, so you can say, "Hey, what does that guy do? Please explain it to me."
Yeah. And to be fair, you should be doing that at the start of every game, especially if you're new. Not everybody will realize that you're new. I'm not saying that they're sitting there trying to hide information, but if you don't admit that you're new and ask, people won't know.
Yeah, no. And if somebody's playing a game against you and you're new and they're not telling you the rules, they're not worth playing anyway. Anyway, but
unless it's a tournament.
If you're new and you see these guys, steer clear of Master Shi, Ku, and Shikaku for sure. I would steer clear of them.
Yeah.
Anything with combo attack is not good, or a counter-strike defense. Yeah, I like them a lot. I have pre-ordered them, as I mentioned. I'll definitely do an unboxing of them for you guys to make sure you guys see how cool these models are. I'll try to get a good camera and some good light.
I'll give you some advice on that.
Yeah, it's cool. And I think you mentioned, well, I mean, you said it at the end of the other episode that we didn't record, but we got also a 2-player star set, to talk about as well. That's exciting.
Our next episode of this series is going to be concentrating on the Jung. And it would appear at this stage that we are going to be discussing the new 2-player starter set with some other people, but we still need to get the details on whether that's happening or not. We are potentially going to be doing a collaboration with somebody that reached out to us recently.
With a special guest.
Yeah.
But
otherwise, thank you very much, Ben, and thank you very much again.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Reason.
Again, yeah, two of the same episode in one night.
Yay!
Anyway.
Thank you very much for checking out this video. If you're enjoying the content of this channel, please like and subscribe. If you're in a position to do so, please check out patreon.com/gettingtabled. You receive early access to at least 80% of all videos that we put out, and you get access to the video edition of all of our podcasts the day that they're uploaded. If you'd like to check us out on social media, facebook.com/gettingtabled is the most active. We also have a Discord server. You can email our team at gettingtabled@gmail.com. If you're on either Twitter or Instagram, you can find us at gettingtabled. And until next time,